Hallelujah. So Paul got it. Paul got it, man. Paul got it. Paul understood it. Paul was on his way to, I believe it was Caesarea, somewhere up in that place where he was going to be a witness. Amen. And so he was took as a prisoner and thrown on a ship, and they started their journey, amen, to the destiny where God was sending him. And so Paul was warned that they were not to leave the place where they had docked their boat because a big storm was coming. Right. Now the ship sailors understood storms. They understood the waves that be. They've been in many storms. They got it. They understood the passage to take to avoid storms. And Paul, being led by the Spirit, was telling them that, yeah, you have the experience, but if you don't stop and wait right here, then we're gonna run into a storm that's designed to take us out, that's designed to sink the ship. Anybody ever ran into storms in life that felt like your ship was sinking? Amen. See, sometimes this stuff just come on us, but other times we create our own storm. Hallelujah. The storm didn't have to be experienced, but sometimes we put ourselves in that storm experience because we're so quick, we're so unwilling to wait on God. Hallelujah. The Bible says, wait on the Lord and what? Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. But no hard. Sometimes we want to step on the boat, launch out into the sea, and do our thing. And that's when God says, all right, I got a storm coming. Got a storm coming.
Oh, yes.
So Paul warns them, right? Paul lets them know that it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I perceive that this voyage will be with hurt. There's going to be injury. There's going to be loss. There's going to be damage. Wow. There's going to be violence caused by the elements, and there's going to be hardship and trouble and things that are going to just hit us hard if we launch. So don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. It's not only going to bust up the ship, but it might also take our lives, Paul says. Right. How many times have we put us in life-threatening situations? Right. I was telling the brothers Friday night, after I got saved and I was going through some hurt, right. That didn't cut off yet, through pain, and so I started backsliding. I was like, forget this stuff, started hanging out with some old friends and owed somebody like $10. And I'm up in the studio one night, and everybody smoked out from smoking weed. Yeah, this was after I got saved. Now, they smoked out, smoking weed all the time. I'm chilling in the corner trying to get a little quick cat nap, and this dude walks in and busts a beer bottle over my head. He was going to cut my throat. And all of a sudden, I realized, like, what am I doing up in this place, man? This ain't what God got for me. Why am I acting like a baby? Why am I acting like a spoiled brat? It's certain things that it comes time. God does not allow us to stay in a certain place for too long. He wants us to cut some ties this morning. Hallelujah. He wants us to loose some things that we've been tied up to. And God was showing me, man, you got to let some stuff go. Just because somebody in the church hurt you, so what? They're people just like you. Amen. Sometimes we act like we don't hurt nobody. Amen. But we can be the hurtest folk in the world. Unwilling to confront our pain. Unwilling to sit there and really open our eyes. If that man hanging from the mountain would have wiped his eyes and looked to the right or left, maybe he could have see the ground, or maybe if he would have extended his feet, he would have touched the ground. But he was frozen, and sometimes we let our hurt and our pain and our trials and our situations freeze us and paralyze us when God is telling us to cut the ropes. Cut it off. Watch this. All right? So Paul gives a warning. The warning was that first, don't go nowhere. Don't depart. Don't leave. But they didn't heed this warning, and they believed that everything would be all right. And so they because in the place they were in was uncomfortable. Right. It was winter time. And they were sailing, you know what I'm saying? So even the centurions and the people on the ship were like, even if we stay here, it's going to be uncomfortable. But sometimes God got to keep you somewhere that's uncomfortable so you don't get anything worse. Amen. But when we make the mistake of going anyways, God is still a graceful God. God still has a way to deal with us and get us to where he wants us to be. So watch this. So all of a sudden, they launched the ship. The ship goes, and the south wind blows. And what happens is they go around this island called Crete. And long after that, there arose this storm called Euroclydon. They even knew what the storm's name was. But not, and when the ship was caught up in it, it could not bear up into the wind, so they let her just go. Anybody just coasting through life? Anybody just kind of going down through the seas of life because now you're in an uncontrollable situation where you ain't got no power over it anymore? Hallelujah. Sometimes God lets us get in situations like that. And the Bible says that running under a certain island, which is named Claudia, we had much work to come by the boat. And when they had taken up, they used helps and they undergirded the ship, fearing that they should fall into the quicksands. And so you can picture this. They're avoiding the shallow waters. They're having to go into the deep waters. They're going through the rocks, and they're trying to avoid being shipwrecked. And they probably now at this time realize, oh man, we should have listened to this apostle. We should have listened to what the man of God said. Hallelujah. That's why it's important that even if you don't get it, even if you don't understand when the man of God is speaking into your life and giving you instruction, you need to hush your mouth and open your ears twice. That's why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth to listen twice and speak once. Hallelujah. God wants you to hear the instruction, even if you don't understand it. You can go down and pray and ask God for an understanding, but don't go before the time, because you're only going to bring more pain into your life. So they're going through this. And the third day, hallelujah, they cast out of their hands all of the tackling on the ship, all of the weights and all of the chains. They threw it into the sea and trying to get the weight off. And then they said the sun wasn't even shining. The stars wasn't even glistening. There was no moon. It was so dark. And all hope was gone that they should be saved. Right. And then they said, look, we're going fast. After long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, look, you should have listened to me. Paul said, look, you should have listened. Amen. I told you, none of it still, I told you so. You should have listened and not have loosed from Crete. Right. And to have gained this harm and loss. And now I warn you to be of good cheer. I exhort you, for there shall be no loss of any man's life. Amen. But of the ship. God, okay. God is getting ready to take your ship. God is going to move your ship out of the way. That thing that enabled you to go the wrong direction. That thing you've been holding on to in the past. That thing you struggle with to let go. Man, that's why Brother Isaiah's testimony the other Sunday was so powerful. Hallelujah, because you could hear literally the cutting off of the past in his testimony. How God loosed him and how he was able to press out of his situation as well. We can't depend on God for everything. Hallelujah, we got to do some things ourselves. Hallelujah, faith without works is dead. So God said, I'm going to allow you to live, but I'm going to take away the enabler. I'm going to take away that thing you're trying to ignore. And you know it's an issue in your life. That stuff that you cover up on Sunday mornings. That stuff that you put a mask over. That fear. The pain. Struggles. All that stuff. God said, I'm going to move that stuff. I'm going to give you power to loose. And so there was an angel talking to Paul and saying that, look, he's got to go to Caesar. Right. He said, look, there's been times when I thought like, Lord, I thought this, I thought that. And God said, I am sending you here. I am going to do this through you. Don't think that in the midst of the situation you're in, God still ain't in control. Amen. If God said you're going to do this or be that, if he said you're going to be a preacher, if he said you're going to be evangelist, if he said you're going to be able to feed the homeless, if he said you're going to win souls, whatever God said concerning your life, God don't say, God just don't. You think God opened his mouth just to be talking like we do? Yeah, that type of God. When God speak, boom. Boom. When God think, it happens. So when God spoke over your life before you were formed in the belly of your mother, it was already settled before the world was even formed. So it doesn't matter what mess you get yourself into, but God does expect you to do certain things to get out of your mess. He will deliver you. He will take the ship from you. He will spare your life. But then God expects you to cut certain things off. Amen. Somebody look at your neighbor and say, cut it off, 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 cut it off. Wherefore, sir, be of good cheer. Paul says, I believe God. I know God's sending me to Caesar. But we're going to have to suffer this shipwreck. Amen. It ain't going to feel good. Right. Cutting certain folk off. Right. It ain't going to feel good getting into a quiet place and closing your door and taking the time to reflect on the pain of your past. You think it's going to feel good when you start? It didn't feel good when I started thinking about that memory yesterday. When I started thinking about my dad choking my mama. That thing disturbed me. And I realized there was still some stuff I needed to cut off. All right. Boy, God done brought me a long ways, but there's still some stuff I need to let loose of. But you'll only discover that if you slow down, right? We talked about that this morning, from the fast pace of this life. And get into a quiet place with the Lord. And start reflecting and thinking over your whole life. Not just what happened yesterday, not just what happened last week, not what happened last month, not what happened when you got raped, but even way before that. Because sometimes, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm going here. Sometimes we have been brought up in a place, in a surrounding that makes us thirsty for something we need, but outside of the protection of God. So we start hooking up with folk, thinking it's the right folk. We start placing ourselves in different predicaments, and all of a sudden the devil's out to steal, kill, and destroy. Find yourself raped. Find yourself at gunpoint. Man, y'all got to come out tonight. I'm telling you, you need to come out tonight, because you're going to hear a testimony. And I believe once that testimony, you hear this testimony tonight, you may not be able to walk out of here for a few minutes. Because boy, I listened to last night, it hit me hard. What am I trying to say? Is that we sometimes, through life experiences, are bound up and tied up to stuff that God strategically and He just has an amazing way of helping us to let go of. So here's Paul again, saying, look, we're going to lose the ship. We're going to lose the ship. About midnight, they drew close to this country shore, and they sounded, and it was pretty close. When they sounded again, it got closer. There wasn't no lighthouse, there wasn't nothing to signal them, but they realized they're getting closer and closer to the sea, or to the shore. And then, all of a sudden, see, you can't just jump out the ship. Right. You can't just weed up a garden and think all your crops going to stay there. You got to wait. It's a process to your deliverance. It's a process to God bringing you into your destiny. It's a process for you to go see Caesar. It's a process for you to be able to minister to the youth group. Hallelujah. It's a process for you to be able to witness to people on the streets. It's a process to really know and understand how to do this and what to go and where to go and how and why. All those things. It's a process that God takes us through. So God gives so many specific strategic directions to these men on the ship. And just when they were getting ready to jump out, hallelujah, because they were afraid of falling on the rocks, they were going to jump out and try to swim the shore. And Paul said, except you abide in the ship, you can't be saved. Because what they did is they had dropped anchors. They dropped these ropes, these heavy ropes, and they dropped these anchors to keep them in, but the wind was still blowing. And sometimes when we get afraid, we just drop and stand still, hallelujah, and we just try to wait it out. But Paul was saying, look, yeah, we anchored. Come on. But don't jump off the ship, because unless you abide on the ship, jeez, you won't be saved. And so he said, but then he says, cut the ropes off the boat and let it fall off. Wow. The same ship, okay? I don't know if this is for anybody this morning. The same ship that enabled them to go outside the will of God. Which God was getting ready to destroy. Had ropes that brought a little bit of stability. Why is it that sometimes holding to the past makes us feel like we're stable when we know it's painful? I know this ain't no jumping the shamans. Why is it sometimes it feels like I just can't let go of this? We've become comfortable in our dysfunction. Come on. We've been comfortable in our pain. We learn how to just cope and deal with it. We settle for less than what God has for us. Why is it that though we're so pleased with that? Why is it such a comfort zone for us? Why is pain a comfort zone? Why is hurt a comfort zone? Why is holding on to bitterness a comfort zone? Bitterness, unforgiveness defiles us. Why is it such a comfort place? I hear God saying this because we don't fully trust in the God that we serve. We don't fully believe He is who He said He is. We don't fully trust Him. We do understand and know who He is, but do we really truly believe it to the point of following His every direction? And these men on the ship were getting to that point, and God is saying you're at that point. You're starting to understand. God has been dealing with you. God has been speaking. God has been doing certain things to let you know that He's still involved in your life. He's still in love with you. Hallelujah. It wasn't a one-time experience way back when you saw the glory of God. It wasn't just a quick feeling, but I've been there the whole time. So some of y'all are starting to realize, just like the people on the ship, that God is really in it.
Hallelujah.
And when you start to realize that enough, you will find out that all you got to do is cut the rope. All you got to do is let go. And they used to say, let go and let God. Oh, in the middle of a storm? Yeah, cut the rope. Quit trying to anchor down in the place of the dysfunction. And let God bring you out of the storm. Yeah, He's going to wreck the ship, because He doesn't want you back in the same situation ever again. But don't worry, He's not going to destroy you. He's not going to take you out. Behold, I have set a door before you, and it's wide open, and all you got to do is walk through it. Cut it off this morning. Let it go this morning. Let go and let God do what He wants to do in you. You're holding yourself back from going to your destiny.
Yes, Lord. Thank you, God.
Hallelujah.
That's right. That's right. Cut it off.
Jesus.
Yes, Jesus. Cut it off. Come on.
The ship starts wiggling. Let it fall off. Let it fall off. Somebody let it fall off.
Let it fall off.
Let it fall off. Can't fall off unless you cut it.
Jesus.
Can't fall off unless you lose it.
All right.